So we've already set up our main process JavaScript. We've created a browser window, and we're loading index.html in it. But what we want to do is load some JavaScript in the renderer process and print out the Electron version on the page. So let's jump over to our index.html. And first we'll just add some HTML for that. Loading JavaScript in Electron is much like you would in a browser. You use a script tag, but instead of passing a source attribute here like this, we're going to use require instead, because we have Node.js APIs available to us everywhere. While the source attribute on the script tag would definitely work, it is a best practice to use require. One reason for this is that using require makes your JavaScript file a Node.js module, so it wraps in an immediately invoked function automatically, which encapsulates all your variables. So we're going to load a file called a renderer.js. So let's create that file now. In here, we'll query the DOM for the version span just like we would normally. We'll use document.querySelector, and we'll set the inner text attribute of that to process.versions.electron. So Node.js has a process global, and process.version in Node.js is the current Node.js version. Electron simply takes the process object and extends it with additional information. One of those things that it adds onto it is the current Electron version. So that's where this is coming from. We'll also go ahead and log out the process.versions object. Okay, let's run that with npm start. Okay, so we can see that it's working. This is the Electron version that we're running. So let's see what happened to our console.log in the renderer process. So I'm going to open the Chrome DevTools with the same hotkey that you use in Chrome. On Mac, that's Command-Option-I. On Windows, it's Control-Shift-I. So we can see here that it got logged out, and this is our process.versions object. Here's the Electron version that we're using, and you can see that there's a lot of other version information in here as well.